All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome to another Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. An important lesson for you today. Don't just lock yourself into looking at top 8 deck lists. There's often a lot of stuff happening just outside of top 8 that had a similar, if not exact, record as the players who made top 8. And we're looking at the 9th place list from SCG Dallas-Fort Worth a week and a half ago. And this is a deck, came in 9th, and essentially, for all intents and purposes, could have top 8'd. You know, those tiebreakers, or that person who had just had the, one extra loss, that's one top deck, or one good draw, or one good play away from top 8, which means the deck is usually pretty good. So, we've got a pretty interesting one here. Jacob Hagen, again, played this deck to 9th place in Dallas. This is a black-white Smallpox deck. Now, these decks have been kind of floating around Modern for a while now, trying to utilize the combination of the card Smallpox, which is a really awesome card. Each player loses a life, discards a card, sacks a creature, and sacrifices a land, and trying to break the symmetry with Flagstones of Trokair, which is a legendary white land, and when it dies, you search for planes. So, of course, this card can't cast Smallpox, but we have Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, to allow us to tap our Flagstones for black for a turn 2 Smallpox. We also have Fetid Heath to do the same thing. So that's the core of these black-white Smallpox decks, and then they typically contain a lot of the usual Smallpoxy cards, discard spells, removal spells, Bloodghast usually present as a good card to discard to Smallpox, as well as a card to sacrifice to Smallpox, comes right back. Same with Lingering Souls, works really well. But we gained something new here. And in an unexpected twist of fate, Stoneforge Mystic off the ban list and back into the Modern format. And Stoneforge plays pretty well here. And it looks a little weird because our deck only has 8 creatures. But realistically, we have Lingering Souls and Bloodghast, creating a lot of durable and recurring bodies, and Lingering Souls tokens in particular hold Sword of Fire and Ice very, very well. And we also have a card that I'm pretty high on in Modern. I think Gideon Allies Zendikar has been fairly underplayed in the Modern format, given the power level it has. It is exceedingly good in fair matchups. And then even in unfair matchups where it's kind of slow and not at its best, at least it closes quickly. Gideon is essentially 7 power worth of attackers the turn after you play it. So attack for 7, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So Gideon, of course, also makes tokens as well to put Sword of Fire and Ice on, and then Batterskull, of course, needs no introduction in our Stoneforge Mystic package. Liliana of the Veil, of course, headlines the archetype. Looking to Smallpox your opponent's lands, just constrain their resources, discard our Lingering Souls, all makes a lot of sense. So we have a pretty interesting twist here, again, on the archetype, with Stoneforge Mystic adding a whole heap of power to the deck. And again, Jacob came in 9th of this deck at the first tournament where Stoneforge is legal, and that's something we should look at. So we got Shambling Vent and the new Silent Clearing filling out our mana base here, giving us a little extra value. We are a little heavy on lands, but you kind of have to be when you're playing Smallpox because you're not always going to be able to sacrifice your Flagstones. And we still want to be able to cast Gideon Allies Zendikar and equip Sword of Fire and Ice and so on and so forth. Sideboard also gained a lot of new tools recently. Stony Silence doesn't play well with our artifacts, but very good against Thopter, Foundry, things like that. Damnation, nice, powerful card in the sideboard. 2 Plague Engineers. Of course, this is one of the more obnoxious cards from Modern Horizons. And I'm not a big fan of this card, but it is certainly good. I say I'm not a fan as the design of the card. The card is clearly very powerful and very good tool to have access to. 1 Elderspell. One card type that tends to give decks like this trouble is Planeswalkers, because they allow your opponent to keep gaining an accruing advantage over time, and that plays very, very well against our resource denial package. So 1 Elderspell in there, nice. Collective Brutality, one of the best cards in the format against burn, and a powerful card in general. Kaya, Orzhov, Usurper, another card I think is underplayed in the modern format. Almost every deck has good 1-drops. From Tron and their Chromatic Spheres, to Humans and their Aether Vials, to Noble Hierarch, etc., etc. And Kaya can kill 2 1-drops before dying. Or without dying, I should say. Which is great. Kaya also eats graveyards, which is great. A lot of power in the 3-mana Planeswalker with Kaya. And another 3-mana Planeswalker that's pretty interesting is Ashiok Dreamrender. Very good against both graveyard decks and decks like Valakut, which are making a comeback. Ross Merriam top 8 of the Open playing Valakut. Well, this is a really good card to have against that deck. 3 Fulminator Mage and 2 Damping Sphere. The Tron matchup doesn't seem very good, so you have a lot of answers there. And that's the deck. Nothing crazy new, but kind of a really fun niche, kind of cult following archetype. And again, Stoneforge Mystic, adding one of the best cards in the format to it is a huge upgrade. So we're going to see how this rolls and battle through a league here. All right, so round 1 with our Smallpox deck. Let's roll and let's mulligan. Pretty ugly one. Pretty ugly one. Okay, so all in all, we've got almost everything going on here. Only card we're missing is the namesake card and the Smallpox, but we're definitely going to keep this hand. Now, Flagstones, legendary lands in duplicate are usually bad because you can't play 2 lands, right? Flagstones isn't that bad because your second copy just dies immediately. You just go get a Plains. So effectively, this is a Godless Shrine that comes into play tapped. As such, we are on the draw with 6 cards in our hand. I think the question of what we want to discard here is the redundant Flagstones or Sword of Fire and Ice. I think you want to keep Bloodghast, want to keep Liliana. It is also annoying that because it comes in tapped, we cannot cast. Actually, we can because we can play it, tap it, legend rule it. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna keep, and we're gonna ship the Sword of Fire and Ice. No guarantee we can push that one through. And obviously it's better in our deck for Stoneforge Mystic a little bit later on. We're probably not going to cast Bloodghast on turn 2, so we'd rather discard it to Liliana. So let's just fire up Thoughtseize here and see what we got. Perfect. Perfect draw. Light him up. Ooh. Well, I'm not going to say that this was unexpected, but it was. You see Flooded Strand, you think blue-white control. They're playing a Living End strategy with some weird lands here. Usually Living End is Jund. Those don't know what Living End is. It's a deck based around Cascade and a 0-mana spell, but it's a Living Death, where basically everything in the graveyard, creature-wise, everything in play, creature-wise, swap. So they cycle a bunch of things like Desert Ceradon and keep cycling these bad commons that cycle for 1 mana. Then they Violent Outburst, Cascade into Living End, and bring all the bad cards back in the graveyard and kill all my creatures. So this is going to be a tough matchup, honestly. Take the Outburst, that's the Cascade card. That will get them Living End. But typically their deck wants to put cards in the graveyard anyway. So our cards like Liliana aren't very good versus them. They're probably playing As Foretold too, I would think. They didn't cycle. Interesting. Right, so that's not great for us. We are going to Stoneforge Mystic. I think we actually just get Sword. Don't think Batterskull is super useful, honestly, because the life changes and it doesn't battle very well, and Sword will persist through the Living End. You can put it on Bloodghast, And they have red creatures they can't block, so I'm going to get Sword. So they cycle Viscerodon, cycle Street Wraith, and sack Foothills. So already got a few creatures in the graveyard. Again, one of the deck building restrictions of this deck is you can't play any cards that cost 2 or less. Otherwise it'll cascade into them. The gimmick of the deck is that the only card in your deck that costs less than 3 is the Living End, the free card. So it's a pretty serious deck building restriction. I don't like that they played Spiraleft Canal here and didn't play their Temple Garden tapped or the fetch land. It means they probably have another Volcanic Outburst and are able to Living End at instant speed, which is highly problematic. Yeah, we might be in trouble here, folks. All right. So, question is, I mean, Liliana, the problem is Liliana isn't even really that good against them because they just want to discard cards anyway. So I think we're going to have to just discard spell and then put in the Sword of Fire and Ice. I imagine we're going to get Living Ended, but with the sword already in play, we can try and make it work. We're gonna fire it off the discard spell. We are going to play our land first, though, so we have the ability to activate Stoneforge. So we're going to keep the untap one. That's pretty cool. I haven't played with Flagstone since the old Legend rule change where you couldn't do this. This is actually a pretty nice synergy. Almost no downside to playing Flagstones at all. Alright, so we're going to cast Inquisition of Kozilek, and they're probably going to cast Violent Outburst Response. No, they have all lands in their hand. That is very interesting. Why wouldn't they play a fetch land or a tap land? Okay, well, that's good for us, honestly. So we'll say go, and hopefully we'll be able to suit up the Sword of Fire and Ice next turn. Their deck is essentially almost all cycling cards, and then the Cascade cards, so them drawing a lot of lands is one of the only real fail states for the deck. Alright, Sword is in. The problem is Smallpox isn't really effective here, because they only need 3 lands to cast their spells anyway, and they have plenty of extra lands. Yeah, we're gonna, even though we have our Flagstones here, we're gonna fire up the old sword here, and hope we draw a land. When sword hits, you get a shock and a card draw. So we're gonna shock them. It's also a pretty fast clock too, so the Stoneforge is attacking for 5 basically. All right, so your Urborg, not ideal, but we'll take it. All right, get Batterskull and say go. Definitely a matchup where both Kaya and Ashiok are going to be good. Alright, well, they top decked their Cascade spell. It's pretty fortunate. So they're going to Cascade, they're going to reveal Glass Dust Hulk and Living End. So you can see Living End kills all creatures in play and returns all their creatures. It's only 2 things, honestly, so it isn't even that bad. It's a Street Wraith and a Desert Ceradon. So it could be worse. Godless Shrine. Okay. I mean, now we can Smallpox and discard Bloodghast, bring it right back and equip it, which is kind of cool. So we're going to do that. They'll probably sack the smaller creature, in which case you can put the sword on the Bloodghast and start going to work here against this red creature. They discarded Wooded Foothills, which is not one of the lands that we know about in their hand. So we know their hand is Misty Rainforest Floodstrand. It's good for us. It's important to keep track of things like that. When your opponent knows the cards in your hand, discard those cards, basically. What I like to do in paper is I like to actually put the cards in my hand my opponent knows upside down. You may have seen this on coverage before. So if you see me playing on coverage and I have a hand where half my cards are upside down, that's why. Just an easy visual reminder for you. When you play on Arena, the cards have a little like eyeball on them to let you know. Just a way to do that. Oh wow, it is haste too? Wow. I didn't even realize that. The Smallpox put them from 11 to 10. That is, as they say in the business. So yeah, hasty Bloodghast plus Sword of Fire and Ice, really good. That is awesome. All right, shock them. So now they have one turn to draw something to stop this, or they are dead. Yeah, Bloodghast with haste plus Sword of Fire and Ice is. Cycle Windcaller Aven to give their Desert Ceradon flying. So again, usually these Living End decks are base Jund. This one is obviously base 4 colors, not black. Ardent Plea is definitely better than Demonic Dread, which is the black-red Cascade card that says target creature can't block, but you can't cast it if there are no creatures in play. So, all right, so I feel like we stole a game there, which feels pretty nice. Definitely bringing in our Kaya and our Ashiok. Damping Sphere makes it taxes it by 1 because they have to cast the second spell. It's not very good. Fatal Push ain't so hot here. Honestly, a lot of our cards aren't so hot. Our Lilianas also aren't very good. We are on the draw, but cheesing our opponent out with Fulminator Mage seems like it's a thing we could do. We should shave a Liliana. Like, Liliana just doesn't really do much against them because they want to discard cards anyway, and they're often playing off the top anyway, and the Edict doesn't really matter either. So Liliana really doesn't do much. I might actually be more... I guess Brutality can't take Ardent Plea, which is annoying. We could also maybe put in a Damnation for if they're able to go off, we can at least clean it up. I kind of like that. I think we should actually cut off Liliana's and bring in the Damnation and maybe the 2 Plague Engineers. They're not great, but they're also something we don't mind discarding. It's funny, you can attempt to just put creatures in your own graveyard to mitigate the damage that a Living End would do. All right, I think I like this. I might consider Liliana back in on the play, but on the draw it just seems way too bad. We're also bringing in a lot of 3s anyway, so... Doesn't seem like a great matchup, but Stoneforge Mystic helped us out there. All right. This hand is interesting because if we Pox on 2, we can't Mage on 3, but if we Mage and then Pox, we could like Stone Rain them a little bit. The problem is they're actually all cycling cards, but I think we can keep this. If we draw Flagstones, this hand's insane. And while it's not great, I mean, we don't have any Graveyard 8 in our sideboard, so which is probably an oversight. Nile Spell Bomb should probably be in there somewhere. All right, so if I play Shambling Vent, I lose the ability to draw Flagstones and have a turn 2 Smallpox, but it could throw me off curve overall. I'm just going to play it. Desert Ceradon. All right, 2 lands in a row. Not quite what we're looking for. I think it's going to be more common to see decks like our opponents now that Faithless Looting is gone, because graveyard decks obviously took a huge hit with Faithless Looting being gone, and there was very little graveyard hate in the SCG Dallas top 8, and just in general, this card's a really good card. That's one of the highest quality 1-mana cyclers there are. 5/5 X-proof is no joke. So they're super set up here. 1 living end, and they bring back over 20 power. So we're probably in pretty big trouble here. We just can't stop what they're doing, unfortunately. We can't play a card like Rest in Peace, because that would screw us up too, but, you know, Nile Spellbomb, or just give me something, you know? I think I'm just on a Fulminator Mage. If they already have it, if they had an Ardent Plea, they would have done it. And if they have a Violent Outburst, they're going to cast it anyway. You probably just can't win regardless, so. Gonna wait till their upkeep and see if they fetch or not. Alright, well, they have cycled a lot of things. I guess now we're gonna kill a land. If we hit the red, they don't know if they have. I mean, if they haven't drawn a Violent Outburst or a Ardent Plea yet, they don't know what color they need. It doesn't really matter, honestly, I don't think. I think we're just gonna basically hope they don't find it. Its problem is that it's hard to hope they don't find it, and they don't have any lands, because like their entire deck is just cycling creatures, lands, and Cascade cards. So like we can Smallpox next turn to kill a land, but it doesn't really do a ton. Suppose they are at 9, so we do have that going for us, but wow, going to 6? Alright, well, there's your Ardent Plea. And their top card. Alright, well, this is quite the attacking force here. Don't think we can beat that. Let's take a look at their hand. Triple Force of Negation, double Glass Dust Hulk. So that's kind of cool. So now we're seeing why they're playing blue cards instead of Jund cards. Force of Negation seems really good in this deck. They have always crappy blue cycling creatures that are already fine, and they get to play an interactive thing that's free in their deck. It's actually really cool. I like it a lot. Okay. Again, tough matchup without any graveyard hate, for sure. I like their deck, though. Their deck seems good. Yeah, I don't really know. Like, if Brutality could also take Ardent Plea, I'd bring these in, but can't. I think we're just running it back. You can hope to get lucky on, like, a good Flagstones, Urborg, Smallpox draw, I guess. And then maybe get up with Fulminator Mage and just, like, cheese them out a little bit. But again, with no graveyard hate, this seems like a really, really hard matchup. I mean, if we knew we were drawing another land, this hand is fine. But I can't keep this hand. If this Urborg was any other land, I think I would keep. We have turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Smallpox, discarding Bloodghast. But this is effectively a 1 land hand. We're going to mulligan. Alright. This is not great, but we're going to keep. Ship Batterskull, and it's funny, I think I want to cast this on turn 2. After they cycle this, they're not going to cycle. They're going to play a land, say go, cycle on the end step. Alright, I guess we'll cast it now. We can just shock. Whiff. They have a 6-drop, a 7-drop, a 7-drop, a 6-drop, and 3 lands. Not good. Not good. So basically, we just need to hope that we can Stone Rain them and then cheese them out with Gideon for a pretty fast kill. That's not bad. I mean, all their things are blue and red, so Sword of Fire and Ice does seem playable. Cycle Ceradon. Kind of a cute deck. Living End. That wasn't bad. I mean, the problem is like they're just never going to run out of lands, but if we're trying to cheese them out, it's definitely a decent path to that. Cycle the River Winder. Problem is our clock is not too quick here. So again, they put a Misty Rainforest over the foothills we know about. Don't do that. Flagstones. I mean, that plays. So we could just fire off Gideon here. Or we could just Stone Rain again. Problem is that we Stone Rain again. I don't think it really matters. You know, like their flashpoint's 3 mana. And we can Stone Rain them and keep them off it, but I guess we're going to do it. Just like a time walk, basically. And we're still making a land drop, too. So if I draw a land, I can sword equip attack. Cycle the Even. Play Flagstones. Keep that one. Sack that one. Get ourselves a Godless Shrine. Alright. You have a Flying Stoneforge Mystic. It's pretty cool. Don't see that too often. Steambend's Shock. They are also taking a lot of damage. They're already at 11. So even though we're kind of just poking them, you know, once the sword comes down, we have a decent clock at least. And we know they have a land. So all right. So yeah, I mean this is a 2-turn clock, so I guess we're doing it. We sword. We equip. Although I guess like maybe playing Gideon plays better around a living end. Maybe. Doesn't play well against Violent Outburst, but what's going on here? So this is effectively a 2-turn clock because they're at 11. They have to crack the fetch to take 5 and 5. So draw Lingering Souls. It's funny. Bloodghast is lethal, so I would love to draw Bloodghast. Hasted Bloodghast would attack through all of their blue and red creatures and deal 6 damage actually, but. Street Wraith cycle down to 3. And again, with Street Wraith, you can just cycle it on your turn. There's no reason to end step cycle. Yeah, Curator Mysteries is also a good blue cycler. This is kind of cool. I like their deck a lot. All the blue cyclers plus Force Negation. Alright, it looks like they have a thing here. This actually isn't that bad, though. With Lingering Souls, we might still be able to steal it. We can block enough things and survive, and then equip one and attack. So, move to combat. We also have 2 Fulminator Mages in our graveyard, too. So that's kind of cool. I assume we're getting Violent Outburst here. They're at 2. Might actually steal this one, folks. So there's your Violent Outburst. They get to Living End. Top card again, it's fine. We get to put in these. That resolves. Alright, I mean, Lingering Souls, flashback. And as long as we can get to our turn with at least one creature in play, or one flyer in play, I should say, and equip it and attack, they're dead. So let's see if we can do that. Sword of Fire and Ice is great. It's been a while. It's been a while, Sword of Fire and Ice. Wow. That felt like a big time steal. We beat Living End with 0 graveyard hate cards in our entire deck. So that feels pretty good. Stoneforge Mystic showing up. All right. Impressive showing in round 1 there. Opponent mulligans to 6. I guess we keep. Our hand's not great, but it seems good against fair decks. Batterskull. It's alright. Opponent mulligans to 5. Okay. Stoneforge Mystic. Probably getting Batterskull this game. We'll see what they're playing, what they do and stuff. But Polluted Delta. Island. Pyrite Spellbomb. Alright, so a pretty poor hand from a Urza player. And another not great draw for us. So I think we're actually going to get Sword of Fire and Ice again. Because Pro Blue plays very well against their Thopters. Just a faster clock. Goblin Engineer. Alright. I mean, they can Pirate Spellbomb my Stoneforge Mystic, unfortunately. I think the Urza deck is extremely good. It seems very hard to play, but it seems like one of the best decks in the format. Acre Wellspring, going for the value train. That's actually hugely problematic. We currently have no way to deal with this engineer. Alright, I mean, this kind of sucks. So they can swap out one of their artifacts in play for the Wellspring and then draw a card and then swap it out and draw more cards, and we don't really have a way to stop that currently, which is a problem. think if I knew what they were playing, I might have mulliganed. It's not enough going on here. All right, so they're a bobble. I'm gonna assume they have another artifact because currently they have no red mana. What do you got, opponent? I know your deck ain't easy to play, but I mean, they have one land. They need another artifact to turn Mox Opal on. They need a land to keep making land drops. Maybe they're cursing themselves right now for sacking that bobble. Because if they could swap out this Spellbomb for the Ichor Wellspring and get that card draw engine online, it seems pretty good. Well, I don't know what they're doing. So, make sure you check out my article from last Friday, a few days ago, on CoolStuffInc.com. Of course, I do a video every Monday, which you're watching right now, and an article every Friday. And last Friday's article was all about the Faithless Looting decks in Modern and how they're going to adapt without Faithless Looting. So Dredge, Izzet Phoenix, and Mardu Pyromancer. How you can build those decks without Faithless Looting. Alright, so they've chosen to kill my Stoneforge Mystic. Again, putting them below Metalcraft. But they have a Scalding Tarn to sack something and get back the... Well, so they also have a Spellbomb, so they can sack their Spellbomb and pay it, draw a card, draw a card. So they're really online here. That's not bad. That is definitely not bad. Problem is they have Nile Spellbomb. So they have main deck Graveyard Hate against our Bloodghasts, which is kind of stinky, but I think we still do it. We're flush with lands. We got to kill this Engineer. They only have one card in hand, too. This is going to be pretty good for us. They can fetch a red in response and like sack something to bring back the Wellspring, but they're still going to be super low on resources post Smallpox here. One of the important things about a Smallpox deck is making sure that your Smallpoxes are still good, even if you don't have the Flagstones. Alright, so we're going to swap out the Mox for the Wellspring. So they draw another card. And now they lose their creature, their land, and one of the cards in hand. So we're going to discard a Bloodghast. Sacrifice our Swamp. So we lose 2 cards. The big thing about Smallpox is if you can cast it when they have a creature and you don't, then they lose 3 cards. You only lose 2, which helps to break the parity of the card. And obviously we're discarding cards we want to discard anyway. So do you want to Spellbomb it? I think I'm pretty happy they Spellbomb, honestly. So it's one less artifact in play for them. For Mox Opal, it's... Alright, so they drew a black source. They only have 1 card in hand. I mean, we're just jamming Sword here. I think we Godless Shrine. Alright, so they're cranking off their Spellbomb, which is great. They're just cycling it to draw a card, because they are in trouble. Getting nothing of value from our graveyard. We've got a nice little clock in play. Sword also, again, attacks. The pro blue and pro red is super relevant again. They have blue Thopters off Thopter Foundry, things like that. So, another Smallpox. It's pretty interesting. Alright, we're going to, first things first, I should equip and go for an attack. See if they have a kill spell for Bloodghast here. Okay, so they do, which is fine. So we do that, and that fizzles. And now I think we play a land in Smallpox again because I want to kill one of their lands. So play Silent Clearing, get back Bloodghast. I guess they. That's fine. It's still good. So we do this. It's gonna die, but they'll both have haste next turn. So Smallpox, discarding Bloodghast, sacrificing probably Fetid Heath. They discarded a Sword of the Meek, which is good for them. And so they have 1 land and 1 card in their hand. And we're about to smack them for 8 next turn with our 2 Bloodghasts. Alright, cool. Smallpox is sweet. Sword of Fire Ice has also been sweet so far. Alright, so what do we want here? Obviously you want Stony Silence. Pretty interested in Kaya, exiling Mox Opals and stuff like that. Plague Engineer is also good against Thopters. What's coming out? I don't think I want Elderspell or Damnation or Brutality. Don't think I want Ashiok. Actually, Ashiok turns off the Goblin, and it turns off War of Invention, as well as maybe being able to spike a Sword of the Meek. It seems okay. Is it better than the cards we have? I think we definitely want to take the pushes out. Push does kill. I guess push kills Urza too, but kills Urza and the Goblin. Killing the Goblin is not super important. Now we have 4 Smallpox and 4 Liliana. Killing Urza is a little more important. But I don't know if we can really mess with that. Kaya can kill the Urza token, and then we can Edict Urza maybe. Not thrilled, but alright, I'm gonna pitch 1 Gideon also. I don't think we need resiliency in this matchup. Obviously, Stony Silence plus our artifacts are awkward, but I don't think we can afford to board out Sword of Fire and Ice or Batterskull. So we have a Stony in play. We should be in really good shape anyway for the most part. Also only have a few fetch lands for Fatal Push anyway, so killing an Urza might be just too difficult. Alright, we can keep this. It's not like an ideal hand, but it's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, casting Bloodghast is not really where you want to be, but my opponent chose to go second and put me on the play. That's pretty interesting. I know 8-Rack wants to be on the draw, but we're not 8-Rack. We're a Smallpox deck. With a Gideon and stuff. But alright, sure. Alright, I'll shock. And they've kept a 2-land hand with an Engineer, a Wellspring, a Mishra's Bauble, a Spellbomb, 2 lands, and an Urza. Unfortunately, this hand is pretty good, and their Urza is definitely their best card, and we can't take it. But let's take the Engineer here. They can spin their wheels for the first few turns. And hopefully we draw a Thoughtseize or some way to deal with that Urza. Again, casting Bloodghast is certainly not ideal, but usually you want to be putting Bloodghast in play for free, but that's pretty awkward. I guess it doesn't actually matter that much. I mean, we're probably going to equip Sword anyway, so I guess they have Spellbomb. We'll see what they do, but we can just get a Swamp here, I think. So casting Bloodghast, not glamorous, but another bauble. Pretty surprised they're not stacking these baubles. All right, so Liliana changes things a lot. Right now they only have 2 mana, and they have a land, and Urza, and another card in their hand. But they have 2 more cards in play too, essentially with the baubles. I don't know if Liliana can do enough to eat away at their hand if she's worth playing over sword. Just get the sword in play and start trying to do some damage. The problem is, if we show sword, they can just spellbomb our Bloodghast in response. So maybe it is Liliana. I also don't really have cards that I want to discard, honestly, which is kind of the awkward part. They play Urza. They'll have a 5/5. Pretty big, too. This seems kind of problematic in general. I'm just going to sword, I think. They just have too many cards for Liliana to be effective. And we have cards we don't want to discard either, so kind of an anemic draw here for us. Also, if they draw Mox Opal, they can just cast Urza this turn, we probably lose. There's your Spire. Tapping 3 and taking a pain? No. No, no, no. And they're back in the Urza tank. And they could have War Invention. We're trying to figure out what to whir for. I mean, like I said, it's definitely a complicated deck. Our current game state is not too complicated. We have a 4-mana Planeswalker and a 3-mana Planeswalker and a creature and an equipment. Not sure why they would main phase a whir. I mean, like, they can get, like, Pithing Needle or something, I guess. Turn off the sword. I don't know what they're doing. One can only postulate. They also seem like they're unsure what they're doing, so. Third time's a charm. No, it's not. I do have a promo code on CoolStuffInc.com. It's Jim5. So when you pre-order all of your Throne of Eldraine cards, get 5% off using my promo code Jim5 on CoolStuffInc.com. #1 source for all your pre-orders. And hopefully our opponent finishes their turn before Throne of Eldraine comes out. That'd be cool. Alright, so it looks like a whir. I think we're returning to Theros in the spring, right? Hopefully our opponent finishes their turn before Theros comes up. Yeah, Throne of Eldraine's looking pretty cool. I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of content on New Standard when the set's fully out. Had a fun preview thing. Food token. It's pretty cool. They sent me a gingerbread cookie. If you haven't seen the Throne of Eldraine trailer, it's pretty fun. It's quality stuff. It's good stuff. I think Wizards... Oh, they did it. Okay. Galvanic Blast. Tormod's crit me. Sure. So now we really want to draw an untap land. Okay. So they've got 3 cards in hand. They had to waste 2 cards to kill a Bloodghast, which is fine. They go land Urza, it's pretty annoying, but Gideon's a house, so just slam that old Gid Daddy. One says, asking Twitch chat what to do. Never a good idea. Agree. Agree. I mean, if they play Urza, we can at least edict them. And they have to keep either their 1/4 with a lot of value or their larger creature in the construct. We draw another untap land and we can edict as well as equip. That'd be super nice. We'll see, I suppose. Twitch chat says to concede, apparently. So, concede they do. I'm just going to assume they don't have a 4th land here. So, no Urza, no bueno. Again, that's the thing about Gideon. Gideon kills pretty quickly, which is important. So, 2-0 with Black-White Smallpox. Round 3. Let's go. Playing first. And keeping a pretty good one here. This is a more Jundy hand than a Smallpox hand. Just discard spell, Liliana threat. But I'll take it. I think discard spell into Gideon is pretty good because, again, Gideon kills really quickly. Okay. I guess that's a main deck Liliana Sanctity. Our opponent mulliganed to 6, so they basically mulliganed to 5 here. So it's sort of like we cast these for random cards, I guess. But, kind of sucks. I mean, obviously Liliana can still make them discard. And we can now discard these useless Thoughtseizes, but I mean, maybe they're playing Boggles or something? I don't know. Silent clearing, alright. Yeah, that's still Liliana Sanctity. Alright, looks like Boggles. Are they going to be really bold here and start pantsing up this Dryad Arbor? They are. No fear. No fear at all, and I cannot edict them. Just target player. This is going to be a whip. Oh, never mind. That's pretty good. I mean, they have Totem Armor, obviously, but I think we still just Liliana here. It's Liliana plus. Make them attack it. Like, we have 2 completely blank cards in our hand. Start eating away at their cards, gain some life, get Gideon online. Right now, Fatal Push is just a demystifier for the Hyena Umbra anyway, so that's not super impressive. And the ideal scenario there was that they played a Daybreak Coronet. We got to 2-for-1 them, but... Alright, well, they have not played another power increasing aura, so they can't kill Liliana. So Liliana gets to get another card. The problem is that how good are these cards they're going to get? A Scout? and a Griffspoon. Stoneforge Mystic. Alright, I mean, Batterskull's pretty good. Alright, let's get their last card. And I'm pretty sure we're just slamming Gideon. We have a pretty stunted game here where we're both kind of sort of doing stuff, but nothing really crazy. And our Liliana is pretty worthless. I mean, Knight can block Dryad Arbor. I guess our Gideon's just going to die, but it's at least going to buy some time. We really aren't interacting with what they're doing, unfortunately. Does that have a creature type? It does. So Plague Engineer could be okay here. Okay. Not attacking with the Dryad Arbor is interesting. So Gideon's going to take some damage. And a Slippery Bogle. And a Bloodghast. Alright. So Stoneforge here. We can also just fire up Gideon and attack for 5. Which is kind of nice. Let's plus this. I mean, I'd rather have Bloodghast in the graveyard than in my hand anyway, probably. I guess we could just wait, though. There's no reason to do this right now. Alright, so Stoneforge Mystic and I guess Batterskull, I suppose. Alright, let's attack first. Cool. Stoneforge certainly adds a lot of power to this deck, and it's Stoneforge is a good. This deck tries to play a low resource game, and Stoneforge plays very well in low resource games. All right, I mean, Sword of Fire and Ice is pretty good, but they've got a number of blocks for it, and any power increasing enchantment on the Dryad Arbor would make it basically worthless. I guess Batterskull is similar. I think it's still Batterskull. And then we're just going to say go. I have Fatal Push. I mean, to kill the Umbra, I guess. And make him up. It's funny. Rancor. Well, that is good. That's going to kill our Gideon. I think I'm going to push now. Man, another Slippery Bogle. It's funny. Or Bogle. Not going to wish I had the Sword of Fire and Ice. I'm just going to fire this push off now. It's not getting any better, and I might as well just get it going. Of course, a tap for black because it's a swamp. Shambling Vent. I mean, I guess we might as well just plus discard Bloodghast. We're playing Shambling Vent anyway, so just put 1 extra loyalty on Liliana. Not that that's going to matter a ton, but do that. And then we'll say, I guess we could also crack a clearing now too. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's just do that. So go. All right, them drawing land is good. That's definitely good. Draw Smallpox. That actually might play. Because that's an edict we can cast. And if I start chump blocking, then Smallpox could do some work. So kinda about that, honestly. Thoughtseize, not really about that one, but I think we just jam here. We want things to die so we can Smallpox. That is our goal for sure. I guess maybe Shambling Vent could have gotten into, actually. Alright, so it's fine. Kill one creature. Yeah, maybe Shambling Vent should have gotten into. I think we're in pretty good shape here, though. Unless I draw Daybreak Coronet. Please don't draw Daybreak Coronet. Oh, God. I don't know why I ever talk, honestly. I really just don't know why I talk. We might be able to get him a Smallpox next turn. That missed attack last turn might end up costing us really bad. They were at 1 going to 8 here. They might block with both. That really, really hurts. It's got Vigilance. Oh, it's Vigilance and First Strike too? Alright, we're dead. That's so ridiculous. Oh. They should did not draw Daybreak Coronet for one single turn. I mean, this matchup seems bad too, honestly. They just have their Boggles with main deck ley lines against our Thoughtseize removal spell deck. Oh boy. Alright, I guess we're dead. Oh boy. I don't think we have much of this matchup either. We've got Plague Engineer, Damnation. Kai is actually really good to exile the 1 mana auras. It's funny because Fatal Push actually isn't that bad because they tend to bring in like they have Core Spirit Dancer or whatever, things like that. I'm gonna leave in 2. I like to shave one more card. I mean, the problem is, like, our discard spells are so good against them unless they have Leyline. Same with Liliana. Like, but, I mean, they're not going to have Leyline every time, you know? Like, yeah, Gideon seems, honestly, maybe Gideon's just bad. Check out 2 Gideons. Seems like pretty hard to defend. And they don't really have much removal anyway, so our Stoneforge package should be able to hopefully go most of the way. Alright. Please no Leyline again. Alright, so we have a Smallpox on the play. That seems pretty good. We're going to keep that. Leyline of Sanctity? Alright, that's fine. Our hand is indifferent to Leyline. Please play a 1 mana creature so I can send you back to the Stone Age. Love it. It's our 1 Gideon. We got it. We can't not Smallpox here. We could try and be greedy, like make him play auras, but I think that killing their only land and only creature is just far too good to pass up here. And pitching a Lingering Souls. Now they're going to have 4 cards in hand and no permanents in play. And those 4 cards need to contain a land, a Bogle, and auras. So, and next turn we each get to cast a Stoneforge Mystic too. So, That is the power of Smallpox. All right, there's your land, and there's your 1-drop. So they have 3 auras in their hand. Are probably going to lose. Flagstones of Trokair. I got y'all. All right, we're getting Batterskull. Could maybe be an argument for Sword of Fire and Ice because we have our Lingering Souls tokens too, but all right. I mean, no Daybreak Coronet. I think we're probably still okay. They discarded a Spider Umbra to the Smallpox. That's a good start. That's definitely a good sign. That's perfect. Okay, they are out. They're going to sit back on defense too. All right. Play the waiting game here. It's not too bad. So we could just Emblem Gideon, make our thing a 5/5. That is somewhat short-sighted though, because any aura obviously screws that plan up, but it is pretty good, and it also makes our Lingering Souls better. If we play Gideon, they can just attack it, and we just lose it. I think we're going to Emblem. It feels weird, but with Lingering Souls in the graveyard also, I think it's a pretty decent plan. Then we're going to get attack for 5, gain 5 here, and put a lot of pressure on them to draw a aura. Like next turn it's Bloodghast and Lingering Souls flashback, and then the following turn we can also fire up Shambling Vents too, so it's a lot of extra power. Ethereal Armor. That is pretty good. Alright, so now they have an 8/6 First Strike Trample Hexproof. And we have a Thoughtseize. Alright, so flashback Lingering Souls. You can also just put the Batterskull on a Lingering Souls token in theory, which honestly is pretty good. Would make it a 6/6 Baneslayer Angel, basically. Please don't draw Daybreak Coronet. Potty Break. Not much to think about here. They got no cards in hand and no legal actions to take aside from tapping their lands. Another Rancor. So they have an 11/7 First Strike Trample Hexproof. If they attack, we get to not equip and just fire back. If they don't attack, we get to equip a Spirit. So either way is honestly not that bad. Ooh. Ooh. That one's pretty tempting. So we get to Stoneforge and just play a Sword of Fire and Ice. Attack for 4. Yeah, I kind of like that. It also, like, once you move the Batterskull, they just attack. So, like, we have to look at the result of what moving Batterskull is. So I actually like this a lot. No reach here, right? No Spider Umbras. A weird card. Was like a weird battering ram have to do with gaining life and having vigilance, you know? Alright. Get our sword and say go. We can put it in with the other Stoneforge Mystic. So it's got to be Coronet like this turn. That is not a Daybreak Coronet. Yeah, put it in play. Let's go. I mean, they are DOB. That stands for Dead on Board. Cool. Cool. The theme of this this video so far has been stealing games and bad matchups. Let's hope we can do that one again. It's funny because our Smallpox was so good, but their hand after the Smallpox like recovered really well, so it didn't even affect the game that much. But yeah, we're just gonna keep this as is, I think. Let's have a no leyline game. That would make me happy. It's just not reasonable to have leyline 3 games in a row, you know? Alright. I mean, if they don't have leyline, I mean, we do have Damnation, so like, I'm gonna keep. I'm not really thrilled, but with no leyline, we have an Edict, which is cool. God, every time. So, at least we have Stoneforge, I guess. And then we should hope for no Umbras and hope we can get him with the Wrath. God damn it. I mean, I guess it's nothing else. That's good. Okay, that's enough Stoneforge Mystics for one day. Thank you. Man, Smallpox there would have been so good. They don't have Mana Tithe, do they? That's why they were. That's why I left one. They left one mana up for Smallpox to Mana Tithe my Smallpox. They had Mana Tithe. They get some serious props. All right. I think we're gonna Batterskull still. Obviously have more Stoneforges where that came from, so. No crack on the fetch. It's interesting. Another Umbra? Rude. And a Griffspoon. Alright. Honestly, they only have one card left. And right now, Batterskull beats their board. So maybe they're holding this for they're probably holding this for I'm being dumb. They're holding this for Dryad Arbor. So they can, if I have a Smallpox, I can sack the Dryad Arbor. I see now. So I want to leave up push I gotta put in Batterskull now. I guess it's fine. I could Liliana take their last card. There is a chance their last card is Daybreak Coronet, in that they didn't want to expose Coronet and have us be able to kill the Umbra and therefore kill the Coronet. And they've wanted to keep up the Heath the entire time for Dryad Arbor. Maybe we just Liliana. You can pitch Lingering Souls too, it's pretty nice. Like, if you put in Batterskull, we're going to Wrath like soon anyway, probably. Because Wrath only kills an Umbra, but... yeah, I don't know. I got a tingle. I guess putting in Batterskull is still pretty good, though. But if your last card is Coronet, then we are in huge trouble. I don't know, though. I just gotta tingle. All right, we're going to Liliana. Have to plus, can't minus. Suspense is killing me. Alright, it was a snow-covered forest. So, tingle gone awry. That's okay, though. It being nothing is also not that bad, so... so now we need to fade some draws. They obviously have a canopy, too. Gristboon is totally fine. This thing yet is not a trample yet. First strike flying reach. Alright, use flashback Lingering Souls and put in Batterskull end step. Again, the Rat doesn't do anything because they have double Umbra, so... and no reason to plus this because our hand is good and they have no cards in hand, so... we also draw into 4 Smallpox too, because we can Fatal Push the Dryad Arbor. So we draw a Smallpox, we basically just win the game. It's pretty cool. I imagine they're going to crack their canopy, and they can see they could tap the swamp for black and crack their canopy, but keep their fetch land in play. Not sure if they realize that or not, because I think I definitely would have cracked canopy there. All right, well, that's our Fatal Push target. So whenever you cast it, so we gotta kill it immediately. I mean, maybe there's a world where we could have like not flashback Lingering Souls and put in the Germ and like tried to use the Wrath. We obviously didn't know they were gonna play another creature, so it's a little stinky, but I mean, now I can get Sword of Fire and Ice, and actually, yeah, that's really, really good. I can get Sword, put the sword in, and push. Yeah, that's great, actually. This Slippery Bogle is, of course, blue. Sword of Fire and Ice has been doing some heavy lifting. No Daybreak Coronet. No Daybreak Coronet. Now they're going to crack their fetch? Just going to get the Dryad Arbor? It seems like a strange thing to do randomly. I guess that mean they can block the sword, but like, wait, they can just wait and be sneaky about it, you know? Spider Umbra. Sure. That's a weird choice to tap their Dryad Arbor, but sure. Because now my Batterskull can rumble in. I think that's game, folks. So now you get to kill the Dryad Arbor and then Smallpox with their creature, and that is, as they say, that. So I'm just going to attack with everything, because I might as well. Pro blue, pro red. So big. So, you know, if they had not cracked their fetch, they could have played around this, but they did crack their fetch, and that's the game. Be a shame if something were to happen to all of your permanents. Oh, yeah. We thieve in this league. There's no way this is a good matchup, and there's no way that Living End deck was a good matchup. And we're just stealing wins here. 3-0 with Black-White Smallpox. All right, round 4 on the play. That's not a very good hand. We're going to mulligan. Well, this is certainly a lot better. What do we pitch, though? It's probably Bloodghast. Because I'd rather discard the Lingering Souls than the Bloodghast. We got to keep the extra lands for Smallpox. I want to Thoughtseize too, so we're going to keep. Opponent keeps 7. And we're going to ship Bloodghast. Thoughtseize, yeah. They're playing Opt, Cryptic Path, 3 lands. It's not ideal. Alright. I mean, we're taking Cryptic because their hand is just Ops. We're going to Smallpox them on turn 2 and hope these Lingering Souls tokens go the distance. Opt in response. Bottom. Bottom's good. Bottom's good. Yeah. Pitch Lingering Souls. We don't mind hard casting Lingering Souls against blue-white control, but we're so land light that I don't think it really matters. Maybe if we pitch a land, we can't cast it anyway, so. And Silent Clearing is going to be hopefully useful. Discard Spell Snare. Sure. Alright, well. They have 5 cards. No permanents. We have 3 lands and a Lingering Souls, but ooh, that's pretty good. No blue source is nice. I mean, I don't want to put us down to 1 land. So I'm pretty sure we just flash back Lingering Souls here. The problem is if I Smallpox and then we just don't draw land, we're just kind of screwed. Oh, well now I'm glad I waited. Because now our Smallpox is much better. They get Batterskull. Great. Bloodghast. Great. Wow. Man, everything's coming up Millhouse this game. Like the pitch Bloodghast and return it with the Silent Clearing. That's good. They obviously sack the Field of Ruin. They lose Stoneforge Mystic. They, of course, can path my Bloodghast, but then I have an extra land for Silent Clearing, which is cool, too, so... Ugh. Alright, well, that was really bad for us. Now we need more help. Sort of Feast and Famine. Marsh Flats. Fatal push me, I guess? Wowzers. Sometimes you gotta believe. I'm going to Godless Shrine. I don't think our life matters that much. And maybe we should just swamp. We have enough basics left in our deck. That's bad. Might still lose this game anyway. They have Batterskull, Sword, Path, Opt. Opt goes bottom. Well, I mean, that's actually pretty good, because if they path me here... No? Alright. You know, working me up to 4 mana is pretty nice for Gideon, so Gideon's obviously very good at a matchup like this. Alright, so they have Path, Batterskull, Sword. Don't chase me, please. Oh. Opponent's running hot. We're running hot too, but they're running hotter. Fate seal us. And next turn they brainstorm, play a land, play Batterskull. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're in trouble. They leave the card on top too. Colonnade, Batterskull. I guess we just attack the Jace. Oh, they started the path to the Smallpox. I just missed it. +2. Why is Jace +2? It's like I can't kill it next turn either if they plus it. This just feels bad either way. I mean, all I do is brainstorm for a land. If I Batterskull, I probably can't win. So it's like we'll have to draw another push. This seems kind of tough, honestly. Like, every card they play is just 2 for 1. You know? I imagine we are... I mean, they didn't find a land. They found spells. So I can't imagine we're not getting, like, pathed here or snap pathed or something. Yeah. And now they have Batterskull at the ready. Yeah, I think we're in trouble. Maybe I shouldn't even bother playing that. I should just concede it probably. Just conceal the fact we're playing Stoneforge Mystic. And I guess the sword on the spirit could be a path. Whereas ramming Batterskulls together doesn't really do anything. All I have to do is like unsummon the spirit and play Batterskull, but I can allow them to make a mistake, I suppose. They are fate sealing me. Okay. And they're bottoming. Okay, so we're drawing a live one. Alright. I mean, any land is fine, honestly. Alright. I mean, now we get to sword. I mean, they're going to gain life, but we get to draw a card at least and do some things. Unfortunately, we can't kill Jace. If I had attacked Jace last turn, we could have killed it this turn. Which kind of stinks, but... I mean, they're going to go... I mean, we're alright, we're not actually one short of killing them because we attack them for 5. They go to 2. They gain to go to 6, and we can emblem next turn, maybe. They can't bounce this, obviously, because it's pro blue now, so... Well, I guess we are at 7. So if they draw a land, they just kills it with the Colonnade. I mean, you can't stop that anyway, so... Alright. No land. So you're telling me there's a chance. Brainstorm. So we need them to not counter our Gideon. That's probably not good that they didn't do anything. Alright, it's all on a hope here. They have to have, like, almost nothing. Yeah. Spell Snare, Force Negation. Alright. So we're dead. I guess we're not actually dead. We can hope they don't have a land for Colonnade. Oh, they can just bounce. I mean, we're effectively dead. But if they mess up severely, they had everything. Never mind. Never mind. They had everything. It's fine. Alright, so... Yeah. This seems a little tough. Smallpox is... I mean, I guess they have Stoneforge, so Smallpox is still really good, but... Alright, let's take a look at what we got here. Don't want the Elderspell. And that might be it. I feel like our sideboard has not been great. We have played against some weird, unexpected matchups, but... I guess, like, Fulminator Mage is okay. I mean... Brutality, Damnation, Kaya, Stony, all very, very unexciting. So I guess I cut one push for an Elderspell and just call it a day. I still need some pushes for Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, Liliana's good against them. If it gets like a Gideon, it's also good against them too. Like, that was kind of a weird game. So we did Mulligan and stuff. We played like a weird low resource game. I mean... I guess we're keeping. It's not great, but we can maybe resolve Gideon. If we resolve a Gideon, we're in great shape. And we have an answer to Stoneforge Mystic, and we have a little discard spell, some good information. I suppose Spell Snare does get better, doesn't it? It's gotta be Snap. Like, Path feels pretty irrelevant. Spell Snare is good against us, but not currently, and we can just play around it now, so... While Snap obviously isn't doing anything yet, it's still probably just the best card. Sign me up, I suppose. Get in there, buddy. Saying a little silent prayer, they would Path to Exile my Bloodghast. They did not. That's actually a really good draw. This is a really good matchup to hardcast Lingering Souls in. All right. Get Flagstones going here. Get Lingering Souls going here. Now we actually have a pretty significant clock. And this puts a decent amount of pressure on them to do something, which is good. Field of Ruin, sure. Alright, so Slam Jamming Gideon is certainly on the menu now that we have two of them especially, so we're going to fire in here and see what they do. I also want to cast it before they have Cryptic up, so pretty sure this is a Gideon turn. Alright, so there's your mana leak. It's fun. Some more Gideons where that came from. Alright, so they have Cryptic Command available. We're going to start by flashing back Lingering Souls and seeing what they do. It's possible they Cryptic it, honestly. They are 10. They can't just keep taking hits, you know? No? Okay. And then I'm going to crack my clearing now, because if you draw a discard... I guess if I draw a discard, so I want to do it later anyway. I guess I'll play this since I go. Maybe I was wrong. I was going to play it eventually anyway, but... Alright. Like, maybe I could just not play it. I mean, I guess I have another field anyway. It doesn't really matter, so... I mean, they're 10 and they gotta beat these tokens, so... It's pretty good. Also pretty good. Fortunately, we can't double spell now. I guess we can, but... And they have spell... Actually, they can't. They have Spell Snare and Cryptic. Alright, well... Fire it in here. Let's just see what happens. Wow. That's desperate. Gideon, come to town, my friend. No force negation? Cool. Sure. So we're definitely going to Fatal Push here. And okay, Liliana of the Veil. That's pretty good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we emblem Gideon, it forces them to path something. We obviously lose our Gideon, but forces some sort of response and then allows us to maybe resolve. Liliana's not even good right now because we have cards we want in our hand. I want to save Liliana for an Edict for the Batterskull. I don't want to plus Gideon and get it pathed. Pretty interesting. They have Snap Path, they can still Spell Snare, but they can't stop the sword. If I play sword and they cryptic it, I can play I can play Stoneforge Mystic. This is a pretty wild. I guess they can't. If I play sword and they cryptic it, they just die to Gideon. So, alright, I guess I can tap stuff too, but. Alright, let's cast sword. Okay. So I think they have Snapcaster Mage or Path. So I guess we're gonna equip because they can still Spell Snare anyway. Yeah. I could equip the Knight actually, because they can't block with Snapcaster Mage. Then they can attack my Gideon though, so yeah, it's fun. Alright, they have no snap, but they have a path. Okay. Alright, I mean they're at 5, and I still have a Gideon and a sword and all these tokens and cards in hand and etc, etc, etc. So sure. That's all our basics. That's why you want to try and never fetch basics against decks like this, so you can get the max value out of your Path to Exiles and Field of Ruins. Batterskull. Yeah, you dead. He's dead anyway, right? Looks like I have another path, but I guess it's a scoop lag. Alright, sweet. Gideon is nice. Do we have any interest in Fulminator Mage? Not really. We'd mostly just be to kill Colonnade, which push does anyway. I think this is fine. I wouldn't mind shaving a land, honestly, but I'm not sure what I want to shave it for. I guess Kaya can kill the Batterskull token, which is kind of cool, while also just kind of like hanging out, being hard to interact with, and then making Snapcaster a little worse, and then possibly killing them. But I think killing Stoneforge is pretty important, especially on the draw. Yeah, this is fine. I think I like the 3 pushes. That's a hand. It's probably not a hand that's casting Gideon for a while, but all in all, it's a pretty good hand. We're also on the draw, so that they cast a Stoneforge on turn 2. Alright, second Urborg is fine. Their hand is Jace the Mind Sculptor. Path, Snap, Teferi, Spell Snare. Ooh. Alright. I think I want a Smallpox on turn 2. Because constraining their mana seems very important. And I have his Lingering Souls. I'm gonna take the Spell Snare. They have too much good stuff to break up anyway. So Spell Snare back in action. Oh god, please play a Stoneforge Mystic. God, you love to see it. You love to see it. You really, oh my god, you really do. Wow. Someone's smiling down on us right now. And like taking this spell snare looks so. I guess maybe they think we have Stoneforge Mystic. Just looks so obvious. We take spell snare and not their other cards. Okay. Now we did sack the. You know what? I think I might have just punted. I should have pitched the Urborg. I was so excited. There's no reason to keep a second Urborg. I could just hard cast Lingering Souls next turn because the Flagstones gives me my 3rd mana. That was a big mistake. I was just so excited. That's a huge mistake on my part. Yeah, okay. That was really bad. I'd much rather just cast Lingering Souls and have this worthless land be in the graveyard. I mean, they're mana screwed and going to lose anyway, but it was still definitely a big mistake. I guess I fetch a duel rather than... Yeah, sure. Okay. It's good to not get excited during games of Magic because it's good to try and avoid most emotional reactions because whether you're tilted or whether you're excited, you're not focusing on what you're doing. So that was a mistake. It's probably not going to cost us, but unless they have Force of Negation or Spell Pierce, this Gideon is about to do some work. That's game. So, yeah, that was also great. Definitely a little lucky there. 4-0. All right, here we are going for that big 5-0 trophy run with the black-white Smallpox deck. And we've run pretty good so far, not going to lie. We're going to keep this hand. It's not great, but we're going to keep it. Ooh, boy, it's about to get worse. Oh, no, okay. Hex Drinker is whatever. Oh, that's pretty good, too. Alright, what kind of Hex Drinker deck you working with here? Assassin's Trophy and lands. Eat Land, Forest, Blooming Marsh, Catacombs. A smorgasbord of Golgari lands. And we have an Edict for this Hex Drinker, which is good, so... It's interesting they're valuing the damage off the Catacombs over leveling. Unless they drew a Fatal Push. Which is possible, I suppose, but... well, that would have been really good if we can cast it, but we cannot currently, so no worries. I think we're just getting our Batterskull. Is Fatal Push the draw, or we just don't want to take any damage? We do want a Black Source for Liliana, but no, I still want to take damage. All right, so they are straight Golgari. So leveling up to Pro Instance, which is fine. Again, we have an Edict in our hand, so we have two Edicts in our hand, actually. That plays. I mean... What do they play this turn? They put a Tomb. So we actually know their hand is Marsh, Forest, Peatland cards. They only have one new card in their entire hand. And they didn't play it last turn when they had 3 mana, which is kind of sketch. So I don't know how good this Inquisition is going to be. I think we're still going to cast it because we're kind of... Our mana is accounted for in the next turn anyway. Yeah, and we got a main phase of the Batterskull, which is super awkward because we have our lands work if we want to cast this Inquisition, so that's fine. Grimflayer. So they chose to pump up Hexdrinker rather than Grimflayer. That's interesting. Well, now I'm happy I did that, so... alright, make a white. Play this. Search. Get our second black source. Man, I've not played Flagstone since the new Legend rule. It is really nice, the new Legend rule. There's almost zero downside at all. Alright, so don't draw like a Maelstrom Pulse and then made me look silly. There's your Forest. Didn't play the Peat Lands. They obviously drew a spell. Spawn of Mayhem. That is a magic card. Okay. Let's read Spawn of Mayhem for those who are not familiar with Standard. 4/4 Flying Trample. That has Spectacle, which they did not cast it for. Beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a counter on it. Alright, so we're certainly attacking with Batterskull here. They're probably going to block with one of them, and then we're going to Edict them. Smallpox, not great at the moment. They have excess lands in their hand and in play. No? Alright, cool. This thing has Trample, too. So, Lingering Souls, not super exciting. Yeah, I think I just actually Liliana. Just Edict them, so I can just do it again next turn. Make them decide what they want to keep. They might keep the Flyer, honestly, which is fine, and then we just get to do it again next turn. Currently, I mean, the Hex Drinker can beat the Batterskull eventually, but they have to sink 5 more mana into it. We just have more Edicts anyway, so... Alright, they're just going to go for the crank up here. Yeah. It's not gonna work out in their favor. So their hand is Blooming Marsh, card. So I don't even think I want to lost this Liliana. Well, that makes my second Stoneforge not too good, but that's okay. Think we just Liliana again, and again, I don't really want to... I mean, I guess like if they're playing like Irish Tracker, getting the land out of their hand is reasonable, but for the most part, this Blooming Marsh is almost a dead card. So yeah, I'm saying Liliana again. All that work for that Hex Drinker, you know? Yep, that's a concession. Alright, so their hand was pretty mopey. Alright. So they're like a green-black rock deck. With Spawn of Mayhem, I guess. I kind of like the Damnation. Not super interested in Brutality, Elderspell, Plague Engineer, Fulminator Mage. I'm not really interested in much here. I think it just comes down to what do I want to cut. I almost don't mind cutting a land, especially on the draw. Just cut like basic swamp. Obviously it's weird to bring in a 4-drop and cut a land, but I assume they're playing a lot of discard spells, and in the discard spell matchups, I like to cut a land so I have more spell density, because the games tend to slow down because you just destroy each other's hands. And there's nothing else I want to cut here. Push seems good. Pox seems good. They might have some form of graveyard hate, but... Alright, so let's cut a Swamp. Add Damnation. Don't think I want Kaya. Definitely want some Nile Spell Bombs in this sideboard. I'm missing out on some graveyard hate here. Like, Kaya and Ashiok are cool, but I feel like I want something a little more solid, you know? Alright, so... Unfortunate. One lander. Can't really keep this one. I'd keep 2 lands if one of my Lilianas was a land, but it's fine. Opponent keeps 7. Lucky. Alright, I mean, this hand is the fix, if you will. We have the Flagstones, Urborg, Smallpox hand. I mean, they probably have discard spells in their deck that could break it up, but not going to 5, so... Oh, that's a Forest. That's Traverse the Uvenwald. We got a deck here from our opponent. Snow-covered Swamp. Okay. Well, now you got a Bayou. We're playing this first because I think that playing Flagstones first is too telling of us having Smallpox. This looks a little more innocent. Play creature. Oh my god. Why is life just so easy sometimes? We are going to pitch... Probably just Plains. I don't think we really need a 4th land. And, like, they're playing plenty of creatures, so Fatal Push is going to be good no matter what. Yeah. I guess Plains is our second white source, and we have an Urborg. Actually, I'm sorry, I just got Swamp. We have an Urborg in play. Right? I mean, the only way we get punished is if we draw, like, Gideon, and no land. Yeah. I suppose the bad news is this will probably give him Delirium, but, you know, what are you going to do? So that Hex Drinker was probably a one-of Traverse target, as was the Spawn of Mayhem. So that's why those cards looked weird. It's probably just one-ofs to search for in certain scenarios. Alright, they discard a Heath, sack Flare. We sacrifice Flagstones. They sacrifice Forest. We did mulligan, so we are down resources, but that's obviously a pretty good exchange for us. They have only 4 cards in hand, and they need to make land drops and play spells, and we have infinite kill spells. So now I'll just draw like a Stoneforge or a Lingering Soul or something, you know? Grimflayer? Sure. No Delirium yet, though. That was good, too. That was good, too. There could definitely be an argument here for not playing Liliana, because if they play a 3-drop next turn, I can't defend it. I also don't necessarily want to plus it. I'm going to say go here. Playing Liliana is a mistake. We have 3 good answers to a Grim player, and Liliana can answer the next big thing. Oh, that's awkward. All right. Guess that punishes us because now we lose the option to have Liliana, or we could have had it in play. But so if we had played Liliana and minused it, yeah, I mean maybe we were being a little too tricky there. All right. They have 2 cards left, and one of them is a swamp. I mean, now they know our hand, which is a little more annoying, but I mean, this is something. Sophie. They've actually played this already. That's this. Yeah, I mean, you know what's up, so they have 2 cards left. Alright, so their last card is probably a creature that costs 2 or less. Silent Clearing. Alright, I think we have to kill this Grimflayer, so let's cry. I mean, we could like try to save this for Revolt, but it doesn't work like that, so. Heh! This part's pretty funny. Alright, I'm just gonna kill this now. This could have like Autumn's Veil or something. Or Autumn, Night of Veil of Summer, whatever it is. Alright, so we have drawn the 4th Fatal Push that they have been, sort of playing around. So I'm sure they'll be very happy when I cast this Fatal Push. Yeah, that's the quads. Now I want to draw Lingering Souls. Please. Okay, thanks. Ugh. I mean, it'll be good. Bolt playing off the top here. I mean, Elderspell. Alright. Gideon is quite good in these fair mirrors. Trophy the Gideon? Not the Sword of Fire and Ice? I mean, I guess it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because they're both really good, but I feel like Sword is the more immediate threat. I suppose that now I can draw 1 kill spell and kill my knight. I guess that's fair. Alright. Don't draw an answer to my knight or my sword. Alright. Here we go. Ooh. We gotta cast Batterskull. It is certainly possible they bricked, but if they did draw a kill spell, equipping is just a disaster, so. Unfortunately, all of our Stoneforges are dead. No, they have a kill spell. So, they trophy the Batterskull itself. I have no basics left. It's annoying. Alright, well. I guess maybe. Alright, I don't know. Because if I had equipped, they'd have trophied the Sword of Fire and Ice. And then I have a Batterskull. They didn't draw a card? Wow. That's weird. So I get free reign to hit them now? Where they could have like tried to draw a Fatal Push or something? Alright. Works for me. Ah, I screwed up. I should have played Liliana and plussed it before I attacked. Tilt. I draw a spell I was casting anyway, so. Could draw Lingering Souls, something like that. Or a Stoneforge Mystic that doesn't do anything. It is a body, though. I'm going to cast it. Doesn't do much, but it wears a sword at least. If they draw a Fatal Push, we can still have a creature. And we have Liliana to plus cards out of their hand and force the issue, if that's how it's going to turn out. Yeah, Mishra's Bauble is a Tarmogoyf. A Termagurf. Well, I believe our opponent is dead. Again, not sacking the Bauble. their top card's a Fatal Push, they're going to feel very silly. So interesting, like, Grimflayer deck. I guess one of the plus sides of the looting ban is that the graveyard's like a playable zone again. And I mean that in the effect of you can play a few graveyard cards in your deck without being like a full graveyard deck. So like I can play some Bloodghast and Lingering Souls, and I'm not going to play against main deck Surgical Extraction or stuff like that, or Rest in Peace or whatever. Because there's so much graveyard hate, your deck doesn't need to be like when there is so much graveyard hate, the top end of your deck, the payoff needs to be as high as 2 Arclights on turn 2 Hogak, etc., to warrant playing against the hate. When there's no hate, you can play a little small ball graveyard game. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, book it. 5-0. Jacob Hagan, Black-White Smallpox. I would say the main deck looks great. I don't think I would change a thing. I maybe consider playing the 4th Urborg. Because we're already playing 24 lands and just increases our nut draw a little bit. Obviously, Fetid Heath kind of plays that role, but maybe consider that. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with everything else here. I love Gideon. Stoneforge was fantastic. Sword of Fire and Ice felt like the right sword. Everything felt great. Sideboard, I'm missing a few things. I would like to see some Nile spell bombs, some sort of more efficient graveyard hate. We didn't play against Tron or Big Mana at all, so it's kind of like, you know. I do like that Ashiok has utility against Scapeshift. I do like the card Kaya, but I don't know. I also wouldn't mind like an Engineered Explosives maybe. Just as another cheap way to mop up small boards, like Bogles or Humans or whatever. The Elderspell, I guess I kind of like the Elderspell. I'm not sure. But I definitely felt like we played some graveyard matchups, and we were kind of just like, oh, okay, I hope their graveyard doesn't get too good, because we can't do much about it. So that's definitely a thing. But it depends on your local metagames as well, and it depends on how the format shapes up. But all in all, this deck's gas. I like it. I like it a lot. And again, I'm very, very happy with these Gideons. This is a card that I've liked a lot in Modern for a long time. Didn't really have a good home, but I think it's a very underplayed, powerful card. And this is a great home for it. Great. So, sweet. That's the video. Thanks for watching so much, everyone. I appreciate it very much. Don't forget, also, there's a companion article to this video on CoolStuffInc.com. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hop on over there and read the companion article piece for a little more information about the deck. And check out my articles, video like this on every Monday, a written article every Friday. Again, last Friday's article was all about building Faithless Looting decks in Modern without Faithless Looting. And make sure you shop on CoolStuffInc.com, get your Throne of Eldraine pre-orders ready to roll. See a card you like? Well, you can pre-order it. Have it at your door as soon as it can be there. And you can use promo code Jim5 for 5% off your order. CoolStuffInc.com. Check it out. I'll see you all on stream, or I'll see you all around. Have a good one. See you next week here on CoolStuffInc.com.